Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is the next Fierce Face and I'm really excited. I know it's been a while since I have uploaded the first one, but today is the day. So if you're new here, Fierce Face is a series that I am starting on my channel where I highlight an animal of my choosing that inspires me, do some research on them, and then do a makeup look inspired by the animal while telling you animal facts that I found in my research. I am in no way a professional on biology, zoology, ecology, any of that sort, so I am just giving you the information that I found in my own research. If I misspeak on something, just let me know. I'd love to learn, and that's why we're here. But before I get into that, I just want to take a quick second and introduce myself. My name is Haley. Here are my socials, and this is my realm of creativity, where I mainly focus on fantasy and makeup related things. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing, and I would love to have you as a companion on my quest. So let's get into it. So here are my inspiration pictures that I am using. I have them up over here just so you can kind of see where I'm drawing from. And I've never really done a makeup look like this, so we'll see. I have kind of something in mind, but I don't know if my skill will keep up with my ambition. So first, a couple of just regular facts about the mandrill, or as many people would commonly recognize them as, is the animal that is Rafiki in The Lion King. Their animal name is Mandrills sphinx and Cercopithecidae family. The Cercopithecidae family. Like I said, not a zoologist. They have an average lifespan of around 20 years. They're around 3 feet tall and about 77 pounds. So like your average ish toddler. Oh, brief intermission from the animal facts. I am not going to be talking about the products that I am using. If you're interested in what I'm using, check the description box below. I'll have it listed. They are diurnal, which means that they are active during the day, and they are altrachial, which means that they're not able to take care of themselves immediately after birth. And polygyny, again, their troops have a hierarchy, so my theory still stands that whoever holds the power in the sexual dynamic is considered polygyny. You know, even if the females were to mate with other males or have multiple male partners, whoever has the power, I think from the research that I've done so far, is who's considered polygyny. Or maybe just the species as a whole is considered polygyny, like male and female, like they all have multiple partners. That could be a new theory. They are arboreal, which means that they live mainly in trees. I found that while they spend most of their time in trees, they do come down on the ground from time to time. And then the last basic fact that I have is that they are considered sedentary. They're considered sedentary. You would think that I would practice how to pronounce these things before I film. Nope. So they're mostly inactive. They do a lot of grooming, not a whole lot of active hunting and stuff like that. So they mainly just sit and they're like, ooh, you have a bug on your face. Did you know that? And then they get the bug off their face. Mandrills are the largest old world monkey. So the difference between old world monkeys and new world monkeys are that Old World monkeys have long, slender noses with, yes, yeah, long, slender noses with downward nostrils, much like us. And then the New World monkeys have short, wider noses that have outward facing nostrils. Another difference between the New World and the Old World is that the New World is mainly found in South America, where the Old World monkeys, such as the mandrills, are found in Africa. Scientists think that there was a split between the species around 60 million years ago, 40 million years ago. That was interesting. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on my channel. I took an anthropology class and I learned what New World and Old World monkeys were, and then I guess forgot. And then in my research, I was reminded that there was a difference, I guess. It had slipped my mind, and I found it interesting that, in a science perspective, we would be considered Old World monkeys. So I just thought that was cool, because our noses are long for the most part and have our downward facing nostrils. I think that is one of the key things as far as the nose distinction is the nostril placement. So I'll put some pictures over here on some New World monkeys and Old World monkeys and try and highlight the difference between the noses, because when I was trying to explain it to my husband, it was a struggle for him to understand, I guess. Not a struggle, but I don't know if I was explaining it correctly. So I just want to make sure that I'm not confusing you guys and just give you guys some visual references as far as what a New World and an Old World is. So I am explaining that clearly. Mandrills are the most colorful mammals with their signature red and blue faces. They have some face accents that are red and blue, as well as their matching asses. So these colors can become even more bright and exuberant. Can become even more bright when the mandrill is excited, or there's a flood of testosterone. So they can go from being, the brightest to even brighter. Yeah. How that happens, I don't know. I'm sure that they can tell when they're more excited and not. When I was finding my reference pictures, you can see one is a lot deeper and richer in color, and another one is not, I wouldn't say pastel, but it's more of a in-between blue, not very bright. If you were looking at it from far away, you probably wouldn't think it's blue. You would probably think it's almost white. So I would think that would be the difference between their regular coloration and their more excited, testosterone-filled coloration. So yeah, I'll put another picture as far as the differences that I saw when I was picking pictures, because I was trying to find ones that were the bright and colorful ones, but maybe that's not how they look all the time. So I got primer in my eyeball. Mandrills are found in the rainforests of Africa, in a very specific location in between I just looked up how to pronounce this. Uruguay. It's not Uruguay, Haley. Ugun. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I just looked up how to pronounce this and it just is gone. The Sangha, and the white and the Ugan. I think it's Ugan. The Ugan, the Sangha, and the White River. In between those three, mainly, is where you will find them. I believe that is on the west coast, in the countries, in Gabon, Gabon. I would really look up how to pronounce it if I wasn't filming with my phone. Gabon, Congo, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea. Mandrills are very social creatures that live in groups of about 60 that join up with other groups to form a troop of above roughly 600 or more groups, or 600 or more mandrills, which is a lot of mandrills. Each group has their own territory that is marked by scents that ranges roughly around 50 kilometers, which is roughly 31 miles, I think. 31 miles, yeah. The groups, the small groups, are primarily made up of very few males, mostly females and children. They have one dominant male that typically fathers all of the children in that group, and then the other males are really just there for protection whenever the group is threatened. For the most part, they will leave and then come back if something were to happen, or if the group was to be in danger, they will come back and defend the group. But for the most part, they have like a life outside of the group and just go and, you know, be a bachelor out in the jungle, and they're just like, God, my hair. I found this really interesting in that the males only really mate with receptive females. So that means that there's not a whole lot of like R word. I'm just trying to be sensitive. There's not a whole lot of, it happens in the animal kingdom quite frequently. So I thought that was very nice. They were like, oh, you don't want to mate with me? That's fine, cool, peace. And they only mate, like the species only mates when there is enough available resources. So if they're like, wow, the river didn't flood, or whatever didn't grow, we don't have enough food, they don't have babies. Like, they're just like, better luck next year, I guess. Cool. I thought that was interesting. Like, they're aware of like the resources it takes to raise a baby, and they assess if there's like enough resources to manage the troop having children, and if there's not, then they don't have children. So they are mainly omnivores. Usually they eat seeds and fruit, but they are known to eat some worms, insects, birds. They eat birds, some porcupines, and some small tortoises as well. So not completely, super meaty, but also when the occasion arises, they do like to chow down on a bird or two. Oh, frogs and lizards too. Like I said, they're polygynous, and what that means for them is that the one male of the troop will mate with the receptive females in his troop, and that's it. Yep. Their window for having babies, if they are going to have babies that season, is December through April. So that makes them too many things. Sagittarius for sure. Capricorns. No Geminis. That's good. When they want to play, they will shake their heads at each other. And when the male in charge wants the group to move, he will let chew grunts out to signal to the troop that they can move or that they need to move. They're like, yeah, we need to go. I'm bored here. Let's skedaddle. If they are angry, they will slap the ground and stare at you. Like, if you see a mandrill staring at you, run, because they're gonna go off. Just like, what's up? Got something to say? Come at me. And they'll slap their thighs, and then they'll just, so run. You heard it here. Mandrills are nicknamed the forest baboon, but they are not baboons. So don't call them baboons, it'll piss them off. They'll slap their thighs, and they'll come at you and be like, what'd you call me? I'm like, I'm not a baboon. Okay? They're not baboons. They're mandrills. Get it straight. They were arboreal, which means that they do live in trees, but they are agile on both the forest floor and in trees. They walk on their knuckles. Their knuckles. They knuckle. And in the trees, they leap from the side of the tree to another side of the tree. They are extremely sexually dimorphic, which means that there is a clear distinction between the males and the females in size and appearance and weight. So humans really aren't hugely sexually dimorphic. We have such a large variant of people, and for the most part, men are taller than females, but there are a lot of instances where that is reversed, and so there's just not a standard of sexual dimorphication between humans, but there is in mandrills. So the females are just a lot smaller than the males, so you'll be able to know which one's which. What I found mainly the difference between the mandrills and the white mandrills is the color of their beard. So the two that I showed you for inspirations, I believe one is a mandrill and one is a white mandrill. One has a white beard and the other has more of a yellow beard. So we're going full like clown Rafiki today. I feel cool though. I really like the look so far. They are mainly known, or most popularly known, for their bright colors on their face and their butt. Like I've said before, they have blue phalanges on their nose and a very bright red nostril area, as well as a very bright red, purple, blue, looks like a bruised rump. I'm trying to make this as kid-friendly as possible, but really nature is not kid-friendly, so it's just not. Females flash their very colorfully marked, bruised-looking behinds, rumps, when they are receptive to mating. So if you don't see a rump, they're not into it. Flashing the rump is also a sign of submission. So not always is it, yes, I am ready now, take me. It is also, I concede to your view that puffy Cheetos are the superior type of Cheeto than crunchy Cheetos. Their way of walking on their knuckles is called digit grade quadrupedalism. Digit grade quadrupedalism. Boom. Which means that they walk on the toes of all 4 of their limbs, not just 2 of their limbs like we do. We don't walk on our digits, like tiptoe everywhere, but we do walk on 2 legs, so that would be dipedalism? Anyway, digit-grade quadrupedalism. Yes, said it again. So they walk on all 4s. So they walk on all 4s. Lying with spread arms is also a threatening, thing. So, they had the staring contest with the slappy of the thighs. But then if they also yawn at you with their arms open, also threatening. So, basically, I'm just giving you a list of everything that you guys need to watch for when you are obviously going to encounter a mandrill and they are going to attack you. That's it. That's apparently all the research I've found. I'm just looking at my notes and it's all this is what they do when they're threatening. This is what they do when they're threatened. This is what they do when they want to play. So you guys will know how to read the body language of a mandrill by the time I'm done. But so this is a finished look. A couple things in closing. I always like to bring awareness to the species endangered status, if it is endangered, kind of what is plaguing it and how we can help. So according to the International Union of Conservation of Nature, they are considered vulnerable as their population status, which means they're losing a lot of their natural habitat due to logging. Also, a growing popularity that I had to inform myself on this. There's a growing popularity in something called bushmeat, which is mainly... Bushmeat is a catch-all phrase that mainly refers to meat that is caught in the savanna and rainforests of Africa. It has grown in popularity as a luxury export for the upper class of a lot of European wealthy people that want to taste the exotic meats of other regions across the world. So there is a lot of money in it, and it just sucks because there's a difference between the tribes and people who are from that area taking meat from the mandrills for food and for sustenance, but then there is this twisted side of it that is really some of the only ways for families to make a living. There are ways that groups are trying to kind of combat this monetary need for the people to export the bushmeat and still use it as a source of sustenance, but also kind of take away that profitability of it. So there are groups that are trying to help raise awareness, as well as giving those people tools to start farming, beekeeping, and things of that nature to cut down on the need to have their monetary sources linked to them hunting mandrills and exporting their meats for money, and using that money to buy food and stuff like that. They're making them more self-sufficient in a way that they are not going to be reliant on the money that they would be getting from selling bushmeat, as well as there has been some law steps taken to prohibit the exportation of bushmeat. National Trade and Endangered Species, or CITES, I think that's abbreviated as CITES, prohibits the exportation and trade of bushmeat, and I would think any other exotic threatened wildlife. the issue lies in the enforcement of regulations and laws like those put in place to keep things from being exported. There's not a huge, in theory, governments are taking action to prohibit and prevent the selling of bushmeat, but also there isn't a way to enforce those. So that is kind of a, people who are using the mandrills as sustenance, they are excluded from laws like that, which is good. Which is good. So they have a familiar relationship with the mandrills and hunting them as food, much like deer, rabbits in America. We have a cultural tie to, that pastime and season. And what's really cool is that the Jane Goodall Institution is also trying to combat the decreasing population of the mandrills. They will catch poachers and release the mandrills that have survived, and tag them and release them into a park which I believe is the National Park of the Republic of Congo, I believe. Yeah, I think that's it. And so they take these mandrills that have been captured from the wild, and they don't capture them. They recapture mandrills that have been taken from poachers, and those that have survived, they tag them, they release them into this natural park, and they're really trying to bring awareness to mandrills and drive up mandrill tours as well, to kind of deter poachers from coming. So I think it's like a surveillance kind of thing. Like, we have 5 tours a day, so obviously the poachers aren't going to be coming because there'll be too many witnesses, kind of thing. I don't know exactly how well that works, but I do know that I'm going to be leaving links to the Jane Goodall Institute and specifically their mandrill projects, and so you guys can go check that out, because I thought that was really inspiring that they were doing work to combat specifically that issue within the that specific issue that the mandrills are facing. I think, a lot of times when we look at groups and things that are kind of destructive, we try and take on the whole picture, and we can't really focus in on one thing at a time. And I find that I work best when I am tackling one thing at a time, and I think, we get overwhelmed with all of the stuff that's going on, and I think we would be a lot better to tackle, specifically bad things one thing at a time as they come, and try and just like the Jane Goodall Institute, they're not planting trees and doing this. They're focusing on what the biggest threat to the mandrills is and trying to combat that, and not take on the entire picture of what the mandrills are facing. So I think we can kind of learn from that and take from that as well. So that is really it for me. I know I kind of ended on a downer, but I wanted to bring awareness to the fact that was something that the mandrills were facing, and that it isn't something that is common knowledge. It wasn't common knowledge to me, so I'm just taking that as something that not a lot of people probably know, and I think it is something that more people should know about. So yeah, everything that I used on my face will be linked down below, and I thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like, please subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite Lion King character is. Mine is probably Zazu. So yeah, I will see you guys later in the next one. Bye!